Welcome back to all my scrappy friends. Hi, my name's Natalie Peconic and this is my YouTube channel, Nat Scraps. Today we're doing the first layout from our Crisp Air kit, scrapbooking kit. And this one really stumped me. I loved the green gingham that you see on the page there. And I really wanted to use those cutouts that are only available in Scrapbook Kit in a really different way. And I was all set to do that, and it just really stumped me for quite a long time. I did start off by pulling out those two pieces of green checker and folding back the yellow leaves, for a better word, and seeing what that looked like. Now in my mind I wanted to use those areas as a little peek out area, and here you can see I pulled in some gorgeous photos of my kids from years ago playing in the leaves after school, and there's nothing really more joyous than seeing kids play in the autumn leaves, and these photos are just adorable of my two kids. And you can see there I'm trying to see what will fit. Now I've printed out these photos in 6x4 as well as 3x4 and 2x3, I think they are. I'm guessing there right now. So I had them in several different sizes, and you'll see here I'm trying some things, trying other things, and I've decided I'm going to put that orange brown behind, and I go with that, and I actually choose to glue that down and everything, which is, you know, unusual for me. I normally leave things floating until I'm really settled, but I decided to glue that down, and I did it in 2 squares, so I didn't need such a wide piece, and what you just seen was me trimming that little bit between the two off. I'm going to put the photos in there, and when I do put the photos in there I really have a look and I'm thinking, not sure if this is going to work. And what kept putting me off was that the orange was the focus, and I didn't want the orange as the focus. I wanted my kids to be the focus, and I thought maybe if I make sure that those yellow leaf bits for I don't know how to even describe them, if I used some foam tape and popped those down, that would actually alleviate the problem, and it didn't. So now I'm kind of looking at that green. Do I need to do something? And you'll see him here trying to pull it off. Well, I glued it down, and I glued it down well, so they weren't coming off. So I'm going to go in with a blade and remove the orange, and you can see here I've used the opposite side, and off camera I had stuck all that down and used that white, and that's going to change again even more later on. So this is the other sheet of that green checker, and I'm bringing that in, and I'm trying to see where I'm going to use that on my page, whether I'm going to use it together on one page or I'm going to do 2 separate pages. So I'm having a good look at that and seeing what I'm going to do. I do try adding a few different photos and things to this, and some of those other different sizes, and you'll see one of the layouts here I stretch across, and I think I get 6 or 7 photos on, but I do keep just moving those things around and waiting until some inspiration hits me. I'm poking some photos behind those small cutouts, and ultimately a little bit further down the track we see that I do actually do that and use some of those smaller photos there. In the meantime, I'm going to move back to the left-hand page, and you'll see me measuring up and making some ruler lines. I've decided that I need to cut this down into a smaller shape, that the shape I have is not going to work, and I'm not going to be able to get it to sit on the page right, and I really don't want them on an angle. I want them to sit straight up and down. So you can see here I'm just using my craft knife, and I'm going around and cutting out that shape. I don't even know what shape you'd call it, a double diamond maybe. If you come up with a better shape, let me know. And then I'm looking at whether I can put photos in the corner, so I do try a few different size photos there as well. This really is what my process is most of the time. It is just moving things until my brain clicks and says this is exactly how it's going to be, and until that time it is a hell of a lot of just moving things backwards and forwards. So off camera I am doing some work with the Cricut, and I've cut a heap of leaves from the Digital Crisp Air collection, and you'll see there that I cut them out of several different papers, and I made them lots of different sizes. And I used these leaves on this layout. I think I used a couple on the second layout, and I actually make a stencil in one of the future layouts as well that helps me extend this kit a long way. That fixes up those corners where there was things kind of not quite right. Also, while I was chatting away there, what I had done was add the Autumn Splendor words to some acetate. Now I've done this so that I can move them around until I'm happy where they go, and they were a little bit light, and I didn't want to have to, I wanted them magic mounted, but I didn't want to try to move them and then magic mount them and on the very fine areas. I'm not making much sense there at all, am I, guys? Didn't make any sense at all. And then while I've been yabbering away and making no sense at all, I have popped those 3 photos behind that 3 cutouts. Now I'm not going to use the other 2 cutouts there, and I'm going to cut a little strip off the bottom there as well to make the green even on either side of the circles. Moving those photos around again, and I've also moved my camera angle around, and I apologize for that. So we just took a big jump. I had a lot of mess there, and I thought I might just cut out some of my mess. I do normally leave it in the videos, but today I must have been feeling a little bit anxious about all that mess off to the side. So I'm going to start thinking about how I'm going to embellish this other side and how I'm going to make the page cohesive. And one of my thoughts is that those yellow diamonds that came out of the green checker are going to help to move my eye around the page and to help balance the page out. This is my camera playing up again, and all of a sudden I realise I am looking very stressed. I thought I'd leave that in there because it's not all sunshine and roses all the time. And that particular day was freezing cold. I had like 3 jumpers on. My workshop heater just didn't want to work, and I was starting to feel a smidge stress. It has been really, really cold in Australia, or in Victoria where I am. The last 2 weeks, we had a couple of days of warmth last weekend, and then we're back into really, really cold. So I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that next week is much better and that we don't have this continual cold snap continue. I myself have just a little bit of a cold. You might notice my voice is a little bit deeper than normal and I'm a bit snuffly, snuffleupagus. So I can't wait until spring, until some nice weather. So you can see I've brought in that blue on the right hand side, and I'm going to mirror that by putting this green on top of that blue there. And this really works because it brings out the blue in my kids' school uniform. So where before that blue was looking out of place and not looking like it should have been on the page, it now actually enhances and everything is pulled together. And I really like that. It makes a feature of the kids and also makes the page look so cohesive. You see me here that I'm sure enough now to go and glue some of those things down. And that rubber eraser that you see is a close to my heart eraser, and it helps get off glue and marks off your page. So you know, if you get a little bit of glue where it shouldn't go, that rubber is amazing. If you have not got one in your stash, you really should grab one. They are really, really good. For those of you that are new to my channel, might have picked up seeing my videos somewhere else along the line, I am a close to my heart maker, and I do always have my store in the description, and you can go if you want to support my channel and what I do here. You can head down there and purchase something from the web store. No pressure though. So now I've sort of got that left hand side. I had to think there for a second. The left hand side pretty much as I want. I'm now going to stick down the right hand side. So you can see here I've put the piece of green down with the photos, putting that base blue down. I'm not quite sticking that all the way under, and I had a little moment there and I thought, no, the top of that green strip I wanted to be very similar to the top of the blue strip on the left hand page, so that's why you could see I'd put that smaller strip on first. Now I'm popping those photos on, and this is pretty much now ready to add the final embellishments to, which is always a nice stage once you get past all of the figuring out where things go and get to just the embellishing. Now in a second you're going to see I decide that the pages may look nicer flipped around, so I'm going to grab the pages and have the right go to the left and left to right. That will just mean that the heavier pages on the left hand side, and I like my titles on the left hand side. I don't know why, but that's what I like. And I find if my titles are on the right hand side, I don't feel like, unless there's half and half, that it works. Do you guys have things that you do like that makes sense only to you really, or little rules that you have that you don't necessarily, and they're not written down rules, but they're things that you sort of go by and you generally find yourself doing them? You can see that I'm moving those yellow diamonds around, and what I'm doing there is I'm trying to get them in a little bit of a triangle, but also in a way that it's nearly like a wave that moves your eye around those two pages. And I think you'll notice a little bit of a difference when I turn the two pages over, change positions as well. So I'm bringing in a few more of the leaves that I have cut out. And here we go, there's the flip there. So I'd love to hear if you think that it worked better on the right hand side or better on the left. I am now going in with the little mini glue dots, and I'm placing them on the back of that title and then placing the title down, and I'll do the same with the word Splendor as well. So those little tiny glue dots are fantastic. They don't take up much space and you can fit them on very fine items. So now I'm bringing in some of the stickers that I wondered what I'd done there. Some of the stickers that are from the sticker sheet, and I'm using the Puff Static Away pillow or the embossing pillow, and I'm using some foam tape on the back of those just to pop them up. The sentiments really suited the photos that were here. There was dancing leaves, season of change, and piling up memories. And if that doesn't say two kids playing after school in a pile of leaves, nothing does. I can actually remember this day really, really clearly. The kids had come out of school really exhausted. My kids attended a small school with only a couple of hundred kids in it, and they'd come out and they had, I don't know, just been one of those days, and 2 or 3 kids had started playing in the leaves, and it was obviously a little bit warmer than it generally is in autumn because both kids haven't got their jumpers on. And before we knew it, there was probably 10 or 15 kids playing out in the leaves at the car park. And then a little bit later, a lot of people had left and my kids were left there in these big pile of leaves playing. And the three little photos, I know there's a lot of glare on them, but the three little photos down the bottom is I've taken a shot of my daughter as she's thrown up those leaves into the air, and just the look on her face is just delightful. It's exactly what kids should be, having been playing out in the leaves. So I've finished embellishing this page, and it's now just the very last little details. And those that follow me on the channel will know that little dots, bit of stitching, and that's how I generally finish off the majority of my layouts. So I hope you guys aren't sick of seeing me doing stitching and little dots on them. If you are, let me know so I can stop doing it for you. And here I'm just going around that blue with some lines as well. Just giving those photos each their own little box to sit in, and that just makes them stand out a little bit more as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're going to enjoy this series with the crisp bear. I really appreciate you guys spending time with me. Please let me know what you think. Drop some likes down below, a comment or two, and consider subscribing to the channel so that I can keep making wonderful videos for you guys. I'm going to finish up here, and you guys will be able to see a few close-ups at the end and be played out with a little bit of music instead of my awful voice. Have a lovely day, guys. Bye.